Hello and welcome back to my channel. I used to do monthly favorites videos, and I just kind of stopped, and I'm gonna probably continue to stop, but I don't remember the last time I've done one now, so I just kind of thought we'd talk about some stuff that I love, because that's how I feel, and there's actually a fair amount of makeup today, because the weather's getting nicer, I'm going shopping, I'm also going Halloween hunting, I went to HomeSense again today, and they have fall out. They have a lot of pumpkins and like wicker mushrooms, but nothing spooky yet, but at least we're getting there. Anyway, so we're going Halloween hunting, I'm plant shopping all the time because I have problems, and I've been wearing makeup, so I have makeup to talk about, and I have other things to talk about too, because I don't know, like, I'm just too much as a person, and I think you understand that sometimes, so I appreciate you as well. What should we talk about first? Should we talk about things? Okay, you know what, let's talk about things, because here's the thing. I like video games, but I don't play them very often because of my too much gene. When I play a video game, I don't know how to stop. This is the problem. Like, I was playing the video game that I'm about to talk about the other day. I started as soon as work was done, and then I blinked and it was 11 p.m. I didn't get anything else accomplished that evening. This is my problem. Like, if you look at my Steam account, I probably haven't played The Witcher, the third one, in probably over a year, which is hilarious, because I had my, brother-in-law, I guess, build my PC so that I could run The Witcher 3. But the problem is, once I start playing it, I play for 3 days solid, and I just, like, forget to look up. So I try to not play video games too often because of that. But one of my favorite video games when I was a kid was called Harvest Moon, and they just released it for the Switch, and it changed my life. Like, I pre-ordered this in January, and it came out the end of June, and I pre-ordered it because it came with a little plush goat. This game is incredible to me. And another example to you about how I've never been able to calm down, not once in my life. Okay, so I'm the kind of person that if I'm playing a game, when I'm done, it goes back in its case. Not so much with the Switch, because I only have 2 physical cartridges, and I have one of those cases with all the slots. But with the GameCube, which is what the original game for this was for, you know, I'd be done playing a game, it would come out of the GameCube and go in the case. Some of my siblings, not to name names, my younger sibling in particular, was not even the type to, like, take the game out, but, like, would leave the game in the GameCube and then would go to play another game and would take the game out of the GameCube and put it in the wrong case. You know what I mean? But then also sometimes just take the game out of the GameCube and leave it on top of the GameCube. That is, like, I have never been able to do that. I would literally lay in bed at night and, like, not be able to sleep if I did that because of my Monica Geller. Anyway, long story longer, that GameCube game ended up getting wrecked because it was left on top of the GameCube, it fell behind it, and it got scratched to death. And it was never able to be played again, but we had already beaten it at that point, I guess. But it's like Animal Crossing, the kind of game where you can just keep playing it, because it's just like a nice little farming sim. And I just love this game. It took everything in me to not play it this evening so that I could shoot this video. Because I was like, I already went out today, so my hair and makeup are already done. I'm already dressed. Like, this is the time to shoot the video. Or I could play Harvest Moon. So, that's what I've been doing. And as I play Harvest Moon, what I listen to is Speak Now, Taylor's version. Because, if you don't know the story, Speak Now was my Taylor Stan album. I didn't like Taylor in debut era because I was still in elementary school and all the girls that I didn't like really liked her. And I remember them just, like, walking around the school singing our song. I thought they were so annoying, and I was, like, not like other girls, you know what I mean? So I didn't like her. But then Fearless came out, and I liked Fearless. And then Speak Now came out, and I was like, alright, this girl's legit. And I was 16 when Speak Now came out, and I feel like whatever album comes out when you're 16 is, like, really important, like, really formative. And as a 29-year-old teenager, like, it's still really important to me. So, I will admit that the venom that album had when she put it out the first time, it doesn't hit the same. You can tell she's not as mad about the things that she was mad about when she did it the first time, because we're older, and we're not, you know, well, okay, she's older and she's grown up. I'm older, but I haven't grown up, so I'm still petty. But because it's Taylor's version, because of the story behind her owning it, you know, I will only listen to Taylor's version. I did, if you don't know the story, I bought the cardigan when, like, the original Folklore cardigan launched, before the copyright problem, before everything, blah, blah, blah. I had it pre-ordered And then I canceled my pre-order because I was like, $100 on a cardigan is too much money, and I talked myself out of it, and I have regretted it every day since, to the point where I'm like, I'm going to be an 80-year-old woman on my deathbed regretting canceling that pre-order. So, in some sort of attempt to maybe dull that pain, I did pre-order the Speak Now cardigan, and I refused to cancel that pre-order. I also bullied my eldest sister into pre-ordering it, so we're going to match. And, I'm excited about that cardigan. The other cardigan's pain will never fully go away. But it is what it is. I am in a chatty mood today. You know what? The truth is, I sit here all day and I just write my little stories and I just kind of hang out. So I don't talk to people very much. So once I turn the camera on, I just start jibba-jabbing. And I'm sorry. The other piece of media that I wanted to talk about is the show that I've been watching, and that is Ghost Whisperer. I am almost done. I think I have maybe 8 episodes left, and then I've seen all of them. I wanted to watch a TV show that had that sort of, spooky, maybe darker vibe. So I started rewatching The Walking Dead, but the truth is, after the Governor arc in The Walking Dead, the magic is gone for me after that. I watched it for a couple more seasons when it was airing, but the Governor arc and before that is my favorite, and then after that, So I got to post the Governor, and I was like, I'm not going to watch this anymore. And then I was like, well, I could rewatch Supernatural. I've seen almost all of Supernatural. I think the last episode I saw was, the 200th episode where they went to that high school, and the high school kids were putting on the show of Supernatural. I think that was, one of the last episodes I saw. So I could rewatch Supernatural, or I could rewatch Vampire Diaries. I hardly remember anything of that, and I think I only saw the first season. And then I was like, no, I want to watch something totally new to me. And then I saw that Ghost Whisperer was on Disney+, and I kind of thought maybe it'll have, a spooky sort of type thing. It has its spooky moments, and I quite enjoy watching the show. I don't know that it's necessarily a show that I would hardcore recommend to anyone, because let's face it, the writing on Ghost Whisperer is not the best. They, build up a plot, in the background. It's a classic TV show in the sense that everything is very episodic. You can watch it out of order if you want to, blah, blah, blah. There's a Christmas episode, there's a Halloween episode, but they build up plots in the background, and then they just kind of drop them, and we never hear about them again. Or they build up something really big, and then it just disappears. Or they give her additional powers, now all of a sudden she can, touch things and get visions. That came out of absolutely nowhere. They do stuff like that all the time, where little things don't make sense, and they don't make sense with things that have happened previously in the show. The lore is all over the place in Ghost Whisperer. And I've just kind of had to accept that, okay, I don't know what was going on, but some of these things don't make sense. It is what it is. And the thing is, so I love a strong female character. You guys know this about me. Most things, media that I enjoy, have a central female character. And I kind of thought that would be the same with Ghost Whisperer. But the truth is, I actually prefer a lot of the men around her in the show as characters. And I think a lot of that is just based on the fact that Jennifer Love Hewitt is so Jennifer Love Hewitt that she's a perfect cinnamon roll, too good for this world, too pure. She's like an angel. And I usually prefer characters with a little bit more grit to them, because I just don't identify with being that pure. Her husband on the show, the character of Jim Clancy, is my ideal husband. First of all, he's beautiful. But he just, imagine your girlfriend tells you she can see ghosts, and you just accept it. You're just yeah, cool. We never get to see that moment in the show, but we do know that he never doubted her for a second. And she'll grab her car keys and be like, I have to go do this ghost thing, and he's like, I'm coming with you. And she's usually like, no, it's okay, but I think she should bring him with her. He just believes everything she tells him, completely. He's just there. She's nervous about having a kid, because what if the kid has to see ghosts the same way I do? And he's like, then we'll have a whole family of Ghostbusters. I just think it's so cute that he is this man must have been written by a woman, because he's just so endlessly supportive, so endlessly sweet. He's a paramedic, and then doctor in the later seasons. I just love him. I do. I love the character. I would marry that man. Maybe my type is himbo. Maybe that's what we've learned from this. Although he becomes a doctor, so it's not like he's actually stupid, but he's got himbo energy. I don't know, Kenergy, as the internet's calling it these days, but I still call it himbo. I love him. That's the truth. And then they had another character that I loved, too. He was a professor at the university, Professor Rick Payne. I loved him because he was the lovable asshole type. But they wrote him off in season 4, and I will miss him forever. I know he doesn't come back. I googled it. I'm really terrible for, like, watching a show and then, like, googling what happens. I do that all the time. But, yeah, I really am enjoying Ghost Whisperer. I don't know what else to say. It's not the greatest written show on the planet. But I'm having fun watching it, and I unintentionally just sit here and file through episodes. Another great thing about Ghost Whisperer, though, is A, you know the storyline's going to be done by the end of the episode, and B, you know it'll probably have a happy ending. So, it's really easy to just sit here and watch it while I'm playing Harvest Moon. I don't even have to really super pay attention to understand what's happening. So, that's another benefit. But I'm almost done, so I have to figure out what show I'm going to watch next. So, if you have suggestions, let me know. I'm still leaning towards Vampire Diaries because I didn't watch very much of it while it was airing. It just, like, I think it conflicted with something else, and so I just didn't watch it. So, a lot of that is unknown territory to me, but I don't know. It seems so melodramatic. Like, I just don't know if it's right for me. So, now let's talk about some makeup things. When Sam and I went to the States, we went to Ulta. There were a bunch of things I wanted at Ulta, and none of them were in stock. I wanted to try one of the REM Beauty highlighters. Out of stock. Oh my god, REM Beauty. Ariana Grande is another thing that we could talk about, because that man married her, and then now they're apparently divorcing because he doesn't like how famous she is. He married Ariana Grande. What do you expect? Anyway, so Sam and I went to Ulta. Nothing I wanted was in stock. I bought this NYX lip color. Now, I will tell you, it's one of those old lady lipsticks where the color's on one side and the gloss is on the other. If you just put the color on, it is uncomfortable. It is tight. It is sticky. It dries down hard. Don't recommend. You have to wear both sides, and even then, like, you have to be someone who's okay with feeling something on your lips. But I will say, this color is enough of a My Lips But Better that I can wear it, and it looks nice, and I can eat, and it mostly stays on. And I learned afterwards that this is not like an Ulta exclusive. I found it in my Walmart here, so what a waste. But I really enjoy it. What are they actually called? NYX? Shine Loud Magic Maker. Who is naming these things? But yes, they had a lot of other colors that I don't really love. This one, they don't seem to have names on them, but it's this color. I quite enjoy this color, especially if I know I'm going to be gone for a long time, and I want a lip color that lasts a long time. This is not the lip color I'm wearing, though. The lip color I'm wearing is a MAC lipstick, because I have become a MAC stan lately. I don't know what's up with me. Actually, I do. My local Sephora has become... I'm going to put this down because I'm not going to be able to shut up. My local Sephora has become an awful place to be. I used to love Sephora. When our Sephora first opened in 2015, it was awesome. I loved all the employees there. They were so chill. They just, like, hung out. And now they've had, like, a complete employee turnover since then. And the new people that work there, I don't know what's up. I don't know what's going on. They treat you like you're going to steal something. Like, they hover. There's, like, way too many of them. There's usually more employees in the store than there are customers. And every time I'm in there, they, like, argue with me about something. I had this is such an aside. Oh, my goodness. But I went in there shortly before the sale because I wanted to rebuy my brush cleaner because I was already out. And so it's Sephora collection, so I see the big banner. I know where I'm going. So I go in there, I go to the Sephora collection, I find the brush cleaners, I'm looking, and of course the solid brush cleaner is the only one that's sold out. So I'm looking, and I'm like, and then I go to leave, and this employee appears out of nowhere. She goes, "Can I help you find anything?" And I'm like, "No, unfortunately you guys are out of the brush cleaner that I wanted, so I'll just order it online, or I'll come back in a week or something." And she goes, "You don't need the solid brush cleaner. Just use one of the other ones." And I was like, "No, like, I really like this solid brush cleaner." And she's like, "No, what you need is this mousse product. You just spray it in your brush, you just, like, rub the brush on a paper towel, and then it's clean." And so, I don't want to argue with this girl, but I have problems. And I was like, I just don't really, like, for eyeshadow and stuff, that's fine, but, like, how is it gonna get the foundation, like, out of the bristles? I feel like it's just gonna clump the bristles together. And, like, the main thing that I want it for is foundation and wet products and that sort of thing to get those off the brushes. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you can clean a foundation brush without water and without, like, drying it with, like, a microfiber cloth after. Because just wiping it on a paper towel with this goo in it, I don't know. I just don't see how that works. And so she's like, no, like, it'll all come out. And I was like, I just feel like it'll harbor bacteria. Like, no thanks. Like, I'll just wait, I'll come back. And she goes, but, like, she gets, like, offended. How often are you cleaning your brushes? And I was like, well, My powder brushes I don't clean as often. I clean them maybe, you know, like once a week or whatever, but my foundation brush, I wash it every time I use it. And she looks at me, again, offended. She goes, girl, you're washing your makeup brushes way too often. Who are you? First of all, I'm washing my brushes too often. If I'm washing my brushes often, I'm buying more product. What is your complaint? Second of all, ew, I don't want to harbor foundation bacteria from day to day. I already have acne problems. Like, I don't want to make it worse. Third of all, if you think I'm washing my brushes too often, you're the one that works in Sephora. I hope you wash those brushes that often. I don't know, it really rubbed me the wrong way. And I just, again, was like, no, it's fine, I'll come back. And then I just, like, left. Like, I just pushed past her. It was the worst experience. 0 out of 10 would not recommend, to the point that I actually, like, actively avoid going back to Sephora physically unless I have to because I run out of something and I forgot, which honestly hasn't happened. But the MAC is right across the mall from, like, across the hallway. So I go in the MAC all the time because the girls in there are, like, just, like, chill. They're just normal people. They just answer questions and whatnot. So I went in there one day with an old lipstick that is definitely expired, and I was like, I really want to find a color like this in MAC. So we started swatching, we figured it out, and we came up with this one, which is literally called Thanks It's MAC, and it is the lipstick I'm wearing today. It is, again, just like a My Lips But Better, but it's got a very, like, hydrating, it's not a matte finish, it feels really comfortable to wear, and so when I'm going places, I'm either taking this one or the NYX one with me. And I just really appreciated the girls in MAC's being so chill. I bought that. I bought the concealer that I've talked about before that I love. And I actually went today and I bought the foundation that matches the concealer so that I can try the foundation. I'm wearing a little bit right here in my zit area just to cover it. And it matches my skin tone pretty perfectly. So I think we're getting along. From Sephora as well, I did buy the, like, mini size of the Dandelion Twinkle highlighter again. I forgot how much I loved it, and then I remembered one day, and I saw the mini, so I bought it. That's literally it. I am wearing it today, but I'm also sweating a ton, so it could just be sweat that you're seeing on my high points of my cheeks. But it is just this very cute little, like, sort of nudie pinky highlighter. It is, like, the perfect highlighter for me, to be honest with you. The eyeshadow palette that I've been wearing lately, you'll be a little bit shook by because I've had it for a very long time, but for some reason, I opened my eyeshadow drawer one day, and I just pulled out the Naked 2 Basics. Yes, this eyeshadow is broken. It's been broken forever. I really like this eyeshadow palette. This is what I'm wearing today. It is just, like, my skin tone, but, like, shadows of my skin tone. So it creates a really sort of natural, smoky eyeshadow look, and I really think, especially if you're, like, you know, like, around my skin tone, which I can now tell you is NW13 in MAC, this is a really nice, casual, chill eyeshadow palette. And I kind of regret just letting it sit in my drawers for a very long time. And Urban Decay does still make this. I made sure before I started this video, because I think they've, like, discontinued a bunch of their other eyeshadow palettes. But this one, I still like. And the last makeup product I wanted to talk about is the Maybelline Superstay powder. I did do a video on this at one point, I believe, and it is still a really good powder. I'm wearing it in my middle of my forehead today, and if I'm going somewhere for a super long time, this is the powder that I'll put in my purse, especially because it has the mirror on the bottom. It just makes my life easier to reapply my makeup, to fix it, to do what I have to do in these streets. Could you tell that I was trying to speed up my talking because my camera was going to shut off, but then it did anyway. But genuinely, other than my jar of flies, I know I didn't want to show you the things I bought at Michael's yet, but I did buy the jar of flies. I don't know, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I just felt like I would regret it if I didn't buy the jar of flies. This is why I shouldn't be allowed to have adult money, because I do things like that. And then I bought the skull planter as well. I didn't buy the ribcage one, but I did buy the skull planter, and I didn't have a coupon, so that was like a $40 planter. Why did I do that? Because unfortunately, this is who I am. But yeah, anyway, what have you been loving the last couple months? I would love to hear from you, especially if you have a TV show recommendation for me for when I finish Ghost Whisperer, because I don't know what to watch. Especially, I would love it if it has some spookiness to it, because Ghost Whisperer does have some spookiness, and I really appreciate that about it. That's maybe one of my favorite aspects about it, I think, actually. I love, like, supernaturally, but rooted in the real world type situations. I don't know. That's just me. I will just keep babbling forever if you let me, and no one wants to see that, so I'm going to finish this video here. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I will see you next time.